And you guys can do this in your seat, okay? So x's go with x's, y's go with y's, and the number goes to the other side, is right. All right, now look at the x neighborhood. Who do you have to take out of the x neighborhood? 16. Who do you have to take out of the y neighborhood? 4. Okay, so let's do that next. Okay, so that's what you're going to see. Here's 16 coming out of the next x neighborhood, and here's 4 coming out of the y neighborhood. Okay? There's that. All right, so now, next part. Who's going to join them in the x neighborhood? 9. Very good. Okay, 6 divided by 2 and squared, 9, right? Who's going to join them in the y neighborhood? 1, right? Negative 2 divided by 2, negative 1 squared 1, right? Okay, got that. Okay, so write that down. Okay, well, everybody understands how where 144 came from? Remember, once again, for 9 to get out of the neighborhood, he has to go past the gatekeeper, right? So what's 9 times 16? 144, right, okay. And then what's 1 times 4? 4, right, okay, very good. So that's it. So 144 and 4 are going to join the negative 84. There's that, okay? All right, so here we go. Okay, so we're going to factor the x neighborhood. We're going to factor the y neighborhood. All right, let them equal to 64 is right. You have to do the 64 to make it equal 1. Divide by 64. Oh my gosh, that's easy. I got to divide by 64 is right. So I have to now divide. Oops, sorry about that. I have to divide. There it is, equaling 1. I got to divide that by 64. And the other 2 by 64 is right. Okay, now let me ask you this. 64 divided by 64? 1. No brainer. Hey, look at that 4. How many times can that 4 go into that 64? 16 times. How many times can that 16 go to that 64? 4 times. Makes sense? So you're going to cancel the 4, put 16 at the bottom. Cancel that 16, put 4 at the bottom, right? Okay, that's what you're going to see now. And here we go. All right. And guess what? That's the equation. Okay, all right, so you have to figure out the center, and the center comes from negative 3 and from the 1, okay, from the x plus 3 and that y minus 1. That's what you're going to see here. There we go. There we go right there. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. Now we're going to go over to the graph and put that on the graph, right? So here we go, pop over to the graph and put negative 3, 1. Put that point on the graph. We're just going to do it one step at a time to get you show you how to do this. Okay, so is everybody good there? Everybody's lost. Okay, now do this if you would, please. Just ignore what's about to show up on the graph. Just ignore it for a second. This is for my doing this first period. I'll explain it to you in a second. Okay, so there's the first part, right? Okay, so the major is the largest, right? It's the 16, which is up below the y. So the y is the major, right? So here we go. There's the a squared, right? And here's the minor, the b squared, right? Okay, so now we're going to go here, right? And so do you notice here? I'm going to count 4 up from the center and 4 down from the center. Okay? Now wait, if the b squared is the minor, how much would b be? 2, right? b is 2. So I'm going to go to the center and count 2 along the x, right? 2 to the right and 2 to the left of the x. Makes sense? Okay, there you go. And that's what you're going to see on there. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so once you get these 4 points up there, you can just connect the points together and make the ellipse, right? And that's what you're going to see me do here, okay? Here's the ellipse. Okay, now, so everybody's good, right? All right, now look at this. You see right here, you see the major axis right here, right? You see the major axis, right? The point here at the end and the point up here, okay, Those 2 points are known as the vertices of the ellipse. Okay, can you tell me what the vertices are? Just count them there. What are the vertices? Okay, -3, and what's the other one? -3, -3, 5. Everybody getting that? Okay, so -3, -3, and -3, 5, right? Okay. All right, now let me ask you this. You see this minor axis there? Okay. These 2 points are called it's on the co-vertices, right? Co-vertices, okay? So let me ask you this. What are the coordinates for those 2 things? -1, 1, and -5, 1. Everybody see that, right? Okay, and sure enough, that's what you're going to see now. I'm going to put those up there. Okay, so here's this, right? And we're going to put down -1, 1, and -5, 1 for the co-vertices, and -3, 5, and -3, 3 for the vertices, right? Everybody good so far? Okay, so far so good. Notes too. Nobody knows this. Okay. That's right. Is that on notes? Okay. All right. So that's the equation. It's almost like Pythagorean theorem, except with a minus. C squared equals A squared minus B squared. Okay. All right. Everybody good. And you see, all that stuff is given to you already, right? So how much is the C squared? Look at the problem that you're doing. How much is C squared? You don't know, okay? How much is A squared? 16. Good job, okay? 8. All right. How much is B squared? 4, okay? All right. So now how much is 16 minus 4? 12. Good, okay? So you get 12, okay? All right, now what do? You take the square root of 12, right? Okay, now how much is the square root of 12? Let's see who's going to be smart here. Good job, that's right. It's 2 square root of 3. And once again, that's an old lesson from geometry and from this year. It's 2 square root of 3 is correct, okay? Okay, so now, so 2 square root of 3 is about 3.5 up off the center and down below the center, right? And you're going to see me put those points up there. Okay, so here I'm going to count 3.5 up and 3.5 down. Like that, like that. Okay? All right, now those 2 points are foci, right? So I'm going to put a little F's next to them, all right? Those are my foci. Okay? Hey, tell me this, remind me this again. What are these 2 points called right here? Okay, let's say again. Those are the vertices. Good, those are the vertices. Okay, on the major, they're called vertices. Okay, now what are these 2 points called here? Those are the co-vertices. On the minor, they're called co-vertices, right? And then the center is the C, the center, right? See, all those things you got to identify when you do a problem. Okay, so everybody good so far? All right, now we're not quite finished. We're almost finished, but not quite. So the thing is that when they ask you, what are the foci? Let me ask you this. What's the center here? What's the center? -3, 1, right. Okay, so I'm going to take -3, 1. Now let me ask you this. 2 square root of 3, are you adding it to the y or to the x? To the y, right? So when you write down this answer, here's what you're going to write down. The foci are -3, 1, but then to the 1, remember, because it's on the y, to the 1, you are adding and subtracting what? 2 square root of 3. That's how you write it. You're adding and subtracting 2 square root of 3, and that's how you write the foci. Okay, so here we go. So the first step is put x's with x's and y's with y's. Number goes to the other side. Okay, so there's that. All right, so here we go. So here goes the 4 out of the x neighborhood. And here goes the 13 out of the y neighborhood. Okay. All right, now let me ask you this. Who's going to join them in the x neighborhood? Let's say again. Not 64. 16, right? 16. Okay. Who's going to join them in the y neighborhood? 4 is right. It's going to be 4, right? Okay, good job. Completed the square. Okay, now who's going to join the -64? 64. From the x neighborhood, it's going to be 64. And from the y neighborhood, it's going to be 52. Right, it's on the board. It just flew up on the board. There you go. Okay, now what's the next step? Now you're going to factor the neighborhoods, right? Okay, so the x neighborhood is going to become what? X minus 4. Good job. And the y neighborhood is going to become what? Y minus 2 squared. Good. Y minus 2 squared. And then how much are they going to equal? 52 is right. Good job. Okay, now I'm going to stop. I'll stop the film there for a second. Wait till everybody can. Okay, so the next step is set it equal to 1. You got to divide everything by 52. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Well, the AC just went off, guys. Something happened. All right, so there's that, right? Okay. Okay. All right. So now, what are you gonna write down here? X minus 4 squared over 13, right? Okay. And y minus 2 squared over 4, right? And that's going to equal 1. Makes sense? All right. Now, is that the equation you got to use? Yes. Okay. There's the equation. You're going to box it. Okay. And then we'll stop the film again for a second. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this now. Where's the center? 4, 2. Good job. Center's at 4, 2. We got that. That's easy. Okay. All right. And now the a squared is 13. So how much is the a? Square root of 13. Good job. Square root of 13. Okay. So now, the major is what? X or Y is the major. X is the major. So you're going to take the square root of 13 and add it to the x coordinate for the center, right? Okay. And there's the center on the graph. And here we are adding the square root of 13 onto that, right? Okay. And then here we are doing it on this, right? And once again, there are two ways to write this. I broke this one up, okay? I made it 4 square root of 13 and 4 minus square root of 13, 2. But you can put them together, right? You can do plus or minus. Okay? All right, now how much is the b squared? All right, yes, 4. So how much is the b? 2. So you're going to go to the center and add or subtract 2 from the, what, the x or the y? The y. So that's going to give you then what coordinates? 4, 0, and there they are right there, and 4, 4, right? So you get 4, 0, and 4, 4. It is right. And you go do that on the graph. And we're going. All right. So now to do this, to find the foci, right, you use c squared equals a squared minus b squared, right? Okay, now how much is the a squared? 13. How much is the b squared? 4. So how much is 13 minus 4? 9. Okay, and how much is the square root of 9? 3, right? Plus or minus, right? Okay, so it's 3. Okay, so now you're going to go to the center and add or subtract 3 from where now? The x or the y? The x, because the x is the major. So then when you add 3 to the 4, you get 7, 2. When you subtract 3 from the 4, you get 1, 2. Those are the foci. And there you see me putting them on the graph right there, right? They're the foci. And here I'm going to put the little s there, right? And put there's the center. Here are the 2 co-vertices. And here are the 2 vertices, right? So we got to all understand that. Okay, and then we'll go back, and now we're going to write those down. 7, 2, and 1, 2. And let me pull this up a little bit. 7, 2, and 1, 2. Okay, and then we got it.